Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Action Figuratorium. My name is Mark. I am here in the studio today, and normally I do photography of toys, but I picked up this Miles from Tomorrowland spaceship at a thrift store near my house, and it's kind of cool looking. It's got kind of this cool cockpit. It's got these sort of wings that open and close. The cool afterburners. It is also electronic. It will do things like this. Flashing cop lights. Cool noises. All right, I think that's enough out of you. So I thought today we would give it a little bit of a paint touch-up on today's episode of the Action Figuratorium. Stay tuned. All right, back in the hot seat. I do not know what is up with why the computer wants to continually change programs on me when I switch cams, but we'll get it figured out. I did want to show, if I could, some things that I've been posting on Twitter and Instagram as well. Let me find those. I'll cut to those. All right, so here's my Twitter feed. Of course, pinned to the top is the Reservoir Dogs sort of action figure poster I did a few months back. Kind of cool. Check that out. Will always be there for you. And the most recent one from just last week was shots of Greedo. Here is Greedo for President 2020. And of course, Greedo has a running mate. Who would that be? Well, it's this guy, Zuckuss, another guy from Gang of Bounty Hunters. This guy's from The Empire Strikes Back. He's an action figure I have. So he's vice president. And some other things that I've posted. This is a shot from the episode I did with some homies and the Sesame Street sort of little street play set made by Play School that I painted one day. There's an episode where I'm painting it. And we have some other things I can show you here. And this is the another shot from the homies. That's from the other angle, so you get to see looking down that way. Here's a photo from the Ultimate Soldiers episode I did. And this is a, I don't know, he's like some sort of Panzer officer looking in the mirror, like a Barbie mirror that's all freaked out and weird. Of course, this Moses, one day we will throw food away rather than let poor people eat it. That is a general concern a lot of people have. This is from my episode where I photographed the Black Knight. It's a plushie. It's a Monty Python plushie, and you can actually rip his arms off, that kind of thing. And he's running for governor. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what ends up with the photos that get taken here on the show. And I am broadcasting live right now on the Twitch from Portland, Oregon. This is cam 1. This is cam 2. You can see me kind of in the, it looks like I'm in the dark. I'm really not. It's just a funky camera. Camera 3, of course, is my tabletop cam where we can get some close-ups of the work going on. There's a fourth cam that is the subject cam that you get to see what the camera sees, or what I see when I'm taking photos. But I'm not doing photos today. We are in fact painting. And before I get into painting, I need to grab a drop cloth to put down on the cyc. So let me just say that I will be right back in a couple seconds just to grab a drop cloth. See you guys soon. I have returned. Here I am. I've got a cloth we're going to throw down. It's going to be a throwdown, people. If you're new to the show, welcome. I want everyone to know that I archive all my Twitch shows on the YouTube platform. I'm not putting them on BitChute at the moment because I don't think anybody on BitChute would care. I could be wrong. Maybe people on BitChute love action figure photography. I don't know. I don't know what these people want. Anyways, we got that. We got a little bit of area to do basically what I was thinking, mainly a wash. Some glue I picked up. Let's grab the keyboard. All right, let's go to, let's cut the cam 3. Oh yeah. So the reason why cam 3 is in black and white is because I can never quite get it to color match the other two cameras. It's kind of a bummer, you know. And so I just decided that we would make it black and white. So I'm guessing what I'm going to mainly do on this guy is just give it a wash like I did to the Sesame Street playset, so that all these, you know, I don't want to really call them cracks, but all these little lines in the fuselage and whatnot sort of pop out. Also makes it look realistic and worn. I realize nowadays that the competition within toy photography is pretty crazy. I've seen some pretty crazy shots on the Facebook group I belong to, as well as on Instagram. And it's a full contact sport these days, people. It's a full contact sport. I will be, of course, drinking lots of coffee during this. And let's see here, maybe we want to go with this camaroo. I want to go in a little bit closer for you guys. It's all about you, the audience. I, of course, will be sitting here. There, you can see me now. Hey, look at that. Lighting's not too bad. I put the light down on the ground over there, but as always, it could be better. So let's see here. Let's put this here. Let's grab some brushes. Let's take this brush. And I think what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to add a little bit of brown to some of the edges on the wing to make it look like it is, I don't want to say rusty, but that there's some sort of dilapidation and wear going on, even though there actually is real dilapidation going on along here. Let's pretty much going to be cutting back. You can see that the paint is worn off front, so that's already helping me. But we'll give it a little more chutzpah if we can. This paint has not been used in some time. I am using, right now, for those asking, I'm using, it is called, the brand is called Game Color, and you get it from hobby stores. I got this from Guardian Games in Portland, Oregon. This is used for painting miniatures. This is Tierra Earth. To me, it's just kind of a brown, like a milkshake brown. And when I do this, I always like to have a little towel that I can wipe stuff off with, so as to make sure that I don't get too much. Kind of like a haircut, you can overpaint stuff. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh man, I can rotate it up and down if I need to talk to people. Just going to put a little bit of brown on the edges here. Make it look like this is some sort of, you know, spot on the ship that wears easily. Make sure we kind of get it on both sides. Really just kind of flecking it on. Making it look like it's kind of streaked. Like when this thing re-enters the atmosphere, maybe it suffers some kind of a, you know, physical scraping or something. Anytime you can give this a little smearing effect, really sells the idea. Put a little bit on this side. Again, don't want to go overboard, don't want to go too much. Still going to put a black wash over everything. Probably won't see the bottom. In any photographs I do, no reason to not paint. I think I'll put a little bit on the sides of the wings, kind of evenly so it looks realistic. I think maybe at this point, don't like to ever waste paint, I think at this point that we will just add a little bit here and there. To suggest that this is some kind of, you know, space rust. I think the best spot is going to not be on the white, but maybe some of the darker spots, some of the edges. Take a little bit off here. Again, I will go over this with some black. So don't have to feel that this is the main paint job. This is just a way to add a little extra wear on the edges. Make it look like there's some kind of a rusting, space rust, wear and tear going on. And I don't like to waste any paint, so we will continue to smear a bit here. see what's going on there. Well, it's starting to look kind of cool. I haven't really done anything yet. If you guys like the show, the photography or the design, build, paint, you know, feel free to follow along on both the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel. Any likes you can give, comments, you know, you may even have something negative to say, you can say it in the comments. Listen to what people are talking about. Now, another thing I want to point out is that this does open up, and so there is the potential to paint even more inside of here, but I don't want to just go hog wild with this thing. I don't want to over rushed it. I don't want to make it look like this thing's incapable of getting through the solar system. Now, it does have this logo here, and this logo, of course, applies to the show itself. It's a Disney show, and so it'd be great to remove the logo or put something else. And I think I'm just going to kind of put a lot of wash over it and to make it look like it's just some generic planet symbol, which it already kind of is. You know, they didn't really do a whole lot with it. We're just going to add little bits of streaks, and one isn't as good. Just a little bit of, you know, battle damage, as they say. Try and avoid getting any on the cockpit, in case I need to photograph someone in the cockpit and I want them seen. Just going to do some real, almost out of the little paint I use. I'm almost out of paint here. Too much. Yeah, this brush has got a real kind of scratchy look to it. We'll switch to a different brush for the wash, which is really going to darken this thing up a lot. So I'm not too worried about not getting enough brown on it or space rust. And the last paint, I think we'll just kind of splash them on the afterburners here. You know. All right. So, I think we're good with that color for now. Let's soak my brush. That's it. I also have sponges we can sponge stuff on with. We have to? I don't know that we have to. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw a little bit of water in our paint palette here. Go to our black. I'm using Folk Art Outdoor acrylic paint. Can't say much more than that. I wouldn't say that I have it. All right, comes out all kind of goopy. Let's take another brush. Oh, I like this brush. All right, now we're gonna do maybe some black here. Takes a while to get the wash, which is basically black paint with water added. Takes a while to get it the right consistency, and sometimes too much water, sometimes too much paint, and you know, I'm not using canned wash, although I do have some I bought just because I wanted to see what theirs did compared to mine. This is the Army Painter War Paints dark tone wash, and I bought that just so that I could see what professional wash looked like compared to the, you know, just mixing your own. And you know, I'm not a pro or anything. This is kind of hobby level, so we'll just see what we get. But we'll just kind of just going to paint this into all the recesses. Already I can tell it's too watery. And then before it dries, what I like to do is just take the cloth and soak up all the water from it. And if there's anything that got on too much, take it off. And we can see sort of how our paint to water ratio is going. Again, it does take a while, but once you get the right consistency, it ends up looking pretty good. All right, what happened here? Got some goop. All right, let's keep trying. And let's see what we got here. All right, we're not quite there. Let's try one of these wings. All right, let's see. looks like too much paint this time. Oh yeah. However, it does, each time I do this, it does add a layer of grime and weirdness to this thing. And it should make it look a lot more realistic and aged and lived in. That is almost there. That's pretty close. It's starting to fill in the cracks. I'm trying to keep, I don't want it to be pristine looking, but I also don't want it to look like you can't see it. So we're almost there, folks. We just want the black paint to kind of settle in. Settle into the cracks so we can wipe away and the paint will stay in the cracks. And then quickly, all right, let's take all the water out. Look at that. No, that's a little, it's not quite there. Oh wow, you can just, if you scrape this hard enough, you can peel off the blue paint. Let's try another attempt at this. Yeah, probably looks terrible on camera, and I don't disagree. All right. I like that the wings open. That makes it easy to work on. All right, let's clean all this. All right, now let's do some wipe away. If I keep doing this, there may be no blue paint left. All right, you can see that it's starting to, the black paint's starting to fill in the edges. Is of course getting everything dirty. You can sort of clean that up a little bit so that it's not just, you know, looks like a complete, like just some kid played in the dirt with this. We want to make it look like it's wear from, you know, use as a space shuttle. So we'll try this again. It's hard to imagine I've been doing this for a half hour now, and it doesn't really look quite right yet. But, you know, I mean, it's going to be used in the background for probably some other character. So you have to take that into account. These things don't need to be perfect or immaculate. That is a much thicker black this time. Man, when I pull it up with the cloth, it takes it right out of the crack, right out of the edge. Right, let's keep going. It's starting to look a lot better though. Some of this came out, actually one part came out really well here. Let's try the other side again. Maybe I need to, oh man, maybe I need to just be a little, maybe I need to perfect the art of pulling the paint off rather than putting it down. Putting it down seems easy. Pulling it off seems to be the difficulty. Let's try a little bit of that. Oh yeah. That is much better results. Some would say near usable. For those of you who have worked in the field of usability, user experience, and interfaces, such as myself, near usable needs to be usable. Someone's sneezing next door. God bless them. They're going to need it. All right, let's try that up here. Are you guys in love with my camera work today? You don't have to answer. All right, let's start removing. I don't know if you guys can see that. The Logitech 930 camera is a good cam, not the greatest of cams. Clean it up a little bit here. So it doesn't look so obviously, looks like somebody's painted it and smeared it along the cracks. It's one of the things I like about doing a wash is it's very, if you screw up, it's very forgiving. And it also makes it look kind of even more worn. Looks as if like the dirt has worn after a while. A couple of clean spots here. Strategic clean spots, we'll call them. Like maybe it's a spot where somebody stands to put fuel in it or something, and so all right, let's keep going, shall we? Let's try a little, see if we can get some over dirt on the front of this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. Let's try it again with a little more paint ski on it. Oof. On the cockpit. And I like to just dab it off. Suck up all the water, any paint that managed to stick, that can stay. Alright, so now we've got kind of a worn out looking, starting to look like a worn out ship. Might even, so we lose the plastic, the toy plastic color on the bottom. Let's paint some black here. Oh, and let's paint some black on this. I'm painting, all right, here underneath it, it's like little kind of gills. It's got some lights. I think I might have to paint those yellow or white. All right, now let's take the smear off it. Yeah, we'll do another color to just go around and touch up add little details. Probably should have did that first before I did the black, but you know, when you get excited and you just want to start digging into something. I'm going to do the little wheels now. Let's see these. It's a lot of fun doing the Sesame Street playset the other day. Came out really well, actually. In fact, looking at it, I was thinking maybe I should put some creeper vines going up the side of one of the walls, or both the walls. Why not? You know, it's not like it's some sort of thing that someone's going to live in. If it's just there for photography purposes, then why wouldn't I? All right, so got some action on the wheels here. They don't have to look great. They just have to kind of pop out. Maybe look a little more 3D than usual. Same thing with the little tire tread. And it can also look kind of dirty. Could go back and add some more of that brown in if I wanted, make it a little more, you know, rustatorium looking. Oh, this cloth is getting super dirty. All right, what do you guys think of that? So that's what it looks like unpainted. Or excuse me, this is what it looks like painted. With the wash, this is unpainted. Not bad. Let's do the other side. Been here a full 40 minutes now. Probably go about an hour or so. We'll see how far we get. come back and paint this later as well. Do another touch-up coat. Who knows, maybe I just continually paint this thing forever and it's constantly in a state of both deterioration and upgrading. All right, come on. Again, if you want to, you can check me out. I'm pointing at, there we go, Actfigatorium on Instagram, Actfigatorium on Twitter, Action Figuratorium here on beautiful downtown Twitch. We are in the Makers channel. This has got to be probably one of the loneliest categories on Twitch. The people at Amazon would ever care to help someone out on a show that's just different than all the other shows, i.e. gamers. Love to be a part of that. All right, let's try some more. This area, I'm going to paint some more here. And I found that the tissue seemed to work the best. Oh, also we get to go back in here, to go in there. I don't know if you guys can hear the train through my mic, but there is a train coming. And have no fear, it's not going to hit us. No one is getting hit by a train today. All right, we got it. Trying to get inside of here is going to be brutal, and it may not happen. This could be a not happening spot to paint in here. I may not have the dexterity and room to get in there. But let's do the other side. Yeah, I guess I'll paint some of these areas that you only see when the wings are open. Whoa. Hey everyone, welcome. Oh, didn't mean to have a light blasting at you. Nobody wanted that. Should have said something in the chat. This is definitely, something's definitely happening here. All right, this is a little too dirty for my purposes. Let's see if I can clean some of this up. Maybe too late. Maybe has dried. Oh, not too late. All right, let's keep going, shall we? I'm going to go until I run out of this black paint. We can always add more paint somewhere somehow. Let's see, where haven't we been? This is a pretty good start. For the most part, I've got paint sort of in all the lines here, for the most part. I mean, it's not completely thorough. It's not like I took a marker and just drew those in. The idea is just sort of let the paint run in there with the water, and then remove the water with a cloth and whatnot. I've got plenty of overspray, we'll call it, and it just gives a kind of a natural dirtiness to it that I like, especially in the front here, where I put a bunch of black paint and dabbed it on, and now it looks all kind of dirty like that. I would do the whole thing sort of like that, but I don't think that that's really the best way to go. Then it just looks like you've got like a filthy vehicle rather than like a kind of a cool used vehicle. But we'll just keep going over these until they come out a lot better looking. And again, it's about getting just the right ratio of ink to water. And then pulling it off. A little bit of smearage. Oh, yes, much better that time. I'm trying to go the same direction to make it look like these are sort of, the streaks are from wear, not from a guy taking a cloth. Oh, look, my hands are dirty. Let's try a little bit on the other side now. The more paint I get in the lines and the less paint on the ship, the easier it'll be for me. I think I should just do a little bit at a time too. If you're new to the show, this is the Action Figuratorium. I'm Mark. I'm in a studio in Milwaukee, Oregon. We're about like a 10-minute drive from downtown Portland, right off of Highway 99E, as they say. I do have a mailing address that I can post if anybody wants to send me something. It's a P.O. box, so it's not gonna get you anywhere to like where I live or anything. So don't bother with that, but if there's anybody out there who wants to send something that they're repping or promoting, or something they think I would like, something that they'd like to see on the show themselves, I'm always happy to accommodate. I myself like to send stuff to other creators. share things around. Wow, it's coming up pretty good. It's a little overpainted in some areas, but it does kind of look like wear and tear. All right, so let's hit the bottom a little bit. Let's take what we've been doing and let's do it to the underneath, even though it's probably not going to be seen. It's probably come out the best. All right, a little more water. All right, too much water. All right, we'll start off with Ufta. All right. Helps to wear a smock when you're doing this. I probably should have put on the lab coat today. This is really where the lab coat would come in. On the irony. Let's do the other side, the other wing underneath. On water. All right. Whoa. Not what I wanted. Let's try that one more time. Really get it in the cracks. Just scrunching the brush up into it. Forgot about this delicious coffee. It's almost on the verge of too cold. It has to be a very specific temperature for coffee to be enjoyed. Today's coffee is from the Painted Lady in downtown Milwaukee, Oregon. They in no way pay me or support the show in any way. I'm just letting everyone know that it's a great place to get coffee. Got a great little snack menu there. Highly recommend the lemon-filled ginger cookies. If you can. They're always a hit in my opinion. Every time I've gotten them for somebody, they've always liked them. All right. Sometimes too much paint. One of the things that I like about painting toys like this is that you can just sort of slapdash your way through it You can always go back and kind of clean it up a little bit if you feel you've taken it too far into the grime area, which, you know, whoa, sorry, foot bumped the cam, which, you know, if you're shooting as like a set with toys, you'll be surprised at how much you thought was too much turns out is actually not enough, you know. I mean, yeah, if you're just getting close in with a microscope and you're looking at this and you can go, hey, it looks like somebody did a terrible paint job. Yeah, okay, I can see that. But when there's a figure and this thing's just in the background, you know, you're going to want it to sort of have as much goofball aging to it as possible. But you can go in, you can clean it up after a little bit if you find some spots where, see, what I'm looking for is spots where it looks like, where it shows that a guy painted versus suspended disbelief. That's what I'm trying to overcome when I clean these after the fact, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just taking a little bit of water on my towel here, sort of cleaning up some spots because there's still more paint. I've only been going about an hour, and you know, if you keep doing over and over again, eventually what happens is you get into that kind of cool used universe that George Lucas envisioned his Star Wars having, is this kind of rigmarole. So let's continue to paint these lines. And then continue to unpaint the lines. Ooh. Yeah, where is, I thought this little scrap of toilet paper seemed to work a little better than that cloth. Ooh, this looks cool though. This is unintentional, but we might have to leave this. Let me clean this up here. This does not look good. All right, guys, check this out. I could see the little, it looks like there's an oil leak or something. Maybe I can, where's my other cam? Yeah. So there we go. You can kind of see. You can see sort of what's a lot and what's too much. So anyways, you're starting to get a lot more, you know, that area there. I really like that a lot. I think we're going to leave those. Took a week off. I'm sure everybody noticed. The reason for taking a week off was that there were wildfires, quotation marks, because some of us who are here have seen some things and we know better, but if you say this, you will get blasted. I don't know why. It seems like really weird when you know something that other people don't, and it's your fault for knowing it and sharing it, but wildfires here, and the air was unbreathable. You could not go outside, and to get here to the studio required a bike ride for me, or at least a max ride, and I only did it if I absolutely had to. Did have a couple of clients that came in. We decided that we would work anyways in the studio because it's safe in the studio. Air-wise, getting here was not safe, but being in the studio is safe, and we figured, well, what else are we going to do, you know? And I took a week off from doing this. I'm back. I decided I'd come back, and I have only done one design, build, paint video. That was the Sesame Street Playhouse. And I figured, you know, I don't really feel like photographing anything today. Why don't I come back and do one of these? All right, so let's keep going. As long as there's paint left, people, I'm going to keep painting this thing because it keeps getting better and better. Every time I put a layer on, it continues to improve. I definitely need a little bit more of this little toilet paper remnant. Yes, there's like people in Australia claiming they know what's going on in Oregon when I'm here every day, biking to and from Portland to Milwaukee, and I see these kids, and they are kids because I'm a geezer, so everyone's a kid. I see these kids out on the bike trails in their body armor and their weapons and their masks, and they're heading downtown to these, what they've been labeling as peaceful protests, right? And I see these kids, and I can tell you honestly, as a guy who worked in the rock and roll industry as a local stagehand for many years, unloading semi-trucks for rock bands like, you know, ZZ Top and Rascal Flatts and, you know, big huge acts like that. And I'm not a wuss. I'm a tough guy. I've seen a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of anger in me from different things over the years, and if I need the energy to fight someone off, I have it. I also carry plethora of tools with me at all times, and I can honestly say that that's traveling in Portland is scary. I'm legitimately scared, you know, as a guy who could survive an attack, an ambush by some dudes. And why would they attack me? Who knows? That's just it. No one knows. No one can really say what it is that's driving these agents of chaos to do what they're doing here. And so while I'm painting this, I thought, you know, let's just do a little commentary on the world as it is today and give you some real heads up, because if you're in Australia and all you've got is an article in the LA Times or the Washington Post, you don't know what's going on. And it's okay. No one's saying that you suck or anything. But if you were here and you were watching this, you would know. So we'll leave it at that for now. There's no point in going forward with that until something more substantial were to happen, other than to say that if someone asks me if I feel safe, I do not. I do not feel safe. I fear for my health and well-being when I'm outside traveling in Portland. And I'm a long-time resident of the city. I've lived here since 1995. Lived here longer than some people have been alive. That's not a brag. Those are facts. I've watched the city change over the years. When I got here, there was no internet. And then the dot-com explosion happened, and Portland went through its first round of metamorphosis. And again, if you're not here and you're getting your information from generic news site, probably don't know what's going on. There are, however, still a lot of really good people in the city. For the most part, the people in the city are all really good. There are a bunch of crazy social justice warriors here who run around saying things like, use your words. I don't really know what that means. Seems to be a thing they say. But it's not all that. I don't want you guys to think that that's what Portland's become. Portland's still got a lot of baby boomers and Gen Xers who are cool and dedicated to the cause of living life and making art, feeling good, being nice to each other. And letting people live, contributing to the community, helping each other out. So if you live in Portland and this is bumming you out, don't be bummed out. Because despite all the changes, it's still a great city. There's a lot to offer. And I think we can continue to keep this place viable for everyone. That is my rant at an hour 5 into the painting of this. This is not as exciting as folks probably wanted today. But it's just really tough to get this one spot on here. Again, I'm going to go today until I run out of paint that I put into my little palette mixer. Oh yeah. This is coming out good. All right, so I'm okay with a lot of this. I didn't paint very much in here. Any paint that you see in here is just kind of like paint that's sort of smeared off from painting somewhere else. And there's a couple spots I need to touch up and remove the paint because it looks painted. But let's just keep going a little bit. The underneath looks okay. This could be a little better. We'll flick some up a little bit of black here and there. Not really flicking very well here. Too much paint. Too much paint, people. There we go. Adam Savage hopefully will be proud of this. And we'll just put a bunch of this wherever. Oh, this is a cool idea. Yeah, check that out. All along here. Maybe the other side. Yeah, I like that sort of burned in. In fact, you know, I hate to make it look like this thing's just completely blasted out with dirt on it. But like I said, when you're photographing it, you know, and it might be that you're only photographing one side, it needs to look right. Okay, paint all over me. Let's try the wheels one more time. That looks pretty good. Let's try the other side. The other side wasn't bad to begin with. Let's see what we got. I know. What about come? Oh man, what does it do to make this thing work? There we go. How about just a different shot for a little bit here? Something different to look at. All right. All right, so I haven't really done anything to the I haven't done anything to the cockpit yet. Wasn't going to, but it might behoove me to add a little bit of something. Not a lot, just add a little kind of a little bit of dirt to it. All right, let's do some this. I don't know what the button would serve. Let's do a little bit of this. Oh, this looks cool. I see that. Sort of. And get down the last dregs of today's paint. Throw some more back here on the afterburners. And we'll take some of that off. any of this I find to be too much, a little bit of wet, damp rag can clean some of this up. But we're going to start off with a little overpainted at first, and if I need to dial it back, that can be done. For the most part, looks pretty okay. You know, always be better. Let's just throw some paint on the front here. And the first rule putting paint on is to immediately take it off. All right, so apologies for the switcher. Let's see here. Let's add, what do I got for paint here? I got some orange. I've got some dead white. Got 2 dead whites. Since I've got so much dead white, let's use a little bit of this on it. Just a smidge. And where are we going to go with that? We're going to go in here. These little bumps, these are probably lights. So let's just paint those in. Hour 17 so far in this episode. Gives you an idea about how long, if you're a hobbyist painting your toys, giving them a retro, future used look, a la the original Star Wars. Tells about how long you need to go on a particular project. I'm just about done. I could come back another time and work on this again. There's always, there's always more a person can do to these. But I got a little bit of white, so you can see there. I'll add a little bit of white to this. I'm going to go over it again with black in a minute here. So I'm not trying to paint this in, I'm just trying to add some kind of counter color that will then get ageified. Where else I could add this, because I like to use all the paint if I can and not waste it. It's a big part of doing the show is not wasting paint. So it may feel a little gratuitous, as I pointed out. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I think we're gonna just go through and take a little bit of this white paint and just put a little bit on the edges here of the cockpit. see here. Somewhere else that needs it. A little there. Just gonna kind of blend it in. A couple spots. Ooh. It's just going to look like there's, see, I'm just putting a little, just a tiny little, you know, oh, that's too much. There you go, just like a little, like they're kind of like sort of the paint job. So there's some spots where the paint job actually is coming off. And so this is just sort of to imply that there's a, that there's just an overall sort of decay. And to also just not have the whole thing be completely, have a black wash dirtying it up, but to have some kind of other sort of a color in there sort of smeared in. Like maybe this guy, maybe this guy got in a, you know, like a fender bender here or something, and you know, it's like this part of the wing is scraped, right? Throw some here. And then, yeah, smear that off. Again, don't want it to look painted, want it to look aged. I also just want to use the white paint up. Man, would have been a great day for the lab coat. Probably do another one of these on Sunday. Not this exact thing, but another sort of paint. Design build painting session. You know, it's pretty fun. All right, so that, let's go back to our black wash. I think I'm gonna go another 6 minutes here, folks, and we're gonna probably jump off. Oh, by the way, this was $3.99 at the Goodwill, for those of you keeping score at home. Again, if you see anything on the show for the course of the many episodes that you would like to own, it's quite possible that I could sell it to you. I'm not really attached to all this stuff per se. You know, I mean, I like it as much as the next person, but I don't need to have any of this stuff, really. Oh, we've gone too far. All right, we're going to go back over the little white spot on the front here with a wash. Both the lights and the grill. The way we do that is black paint mixed with water, paint it on, dab it off with a cloth. Keep going until you get the right mix. All right, too much water, it all comes off. Too much paint, it all stays on. There's an ancient art to this. It sometimes takes many, many different paint jobs to figure it out. Sometimes many, many different times within the paint job to figure it out. Things can become too dirty, too overpainted. We'll throw a little bit on this edge. Cockpit is off officially. Yeah, it's exciting, folks. Tuning in for this, tune in for anything, maybe. Will I do anything with the interior? That could be another show. Who knows, maybe I need to create some like little cardboard lights or panel or something. All right, so some of these spots where I put white, I'm gonna go over them again. So as to blend them in. And again, my style is to do it a couple times until it starts to sort of work its way in to taking shape. Right now I'm going over the spots where I added little streaks of white to get a little grime on top of those. So again, it just doesn't look like some guy took white paint and splattered it, you know, even though it's actually what happened. So you put a little bit of the wash over it, takes off a little bit of the white, covers a little bit up, blends it in with this sort of dark trash look, especially underneath here where I've used a lot of it. The fender bender occurred. Another ship. And maybe this guy hit the garage. Who knows? Find out one day who the pilot is. Different episode. All right, let's do the other side. And there we have it. This is as far as today's paint job's going to go. This is the spaceship. Alright, you know. Alright. Enough of that. So this has been today's Action Figuratorium. This is a design build episode. There we go. Delicious light. Thanks everybody for tuning in, just hanging out with me while I did some painting today. Not sure if there's anything that you learned from this episode other than it takes patience, it takes doing things over and over again. We didn't get to the sponge. We only used a couple different colors. But the idea was just to take this thing and give it kind of a weathered, realistic look to it. so that we could use it for some photography shoots, and you know, put it on like a little sand dune, have a character out in front of it. That's kind of what I was thinking. Makes it look kind of cool. The bar has really been raised by a lot of the cats out there doing their sets and their figures and their lighting, and these guys are amazing. Guys like Empire Toy Works, which is on Instagram. Love that guy, love his stuff. Big inspiration. Got me start doing more stuff like this, less stuff like the paint, you know, doing photographs of toys with white background and then making memes out of them, which, you know, I do love doing, and trust me, there's a lot more of those coming. But I think it's fun to do this kind of stuff, and I think you're going to see a lot more cooler sets and figures coming up in the following weeks. And so I'd like to thank everybody who showed up today, and anyone who watches the show in archive version, anyone who follows me on any of the platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Big thank you to everybody, and I hope to see everybody again real soon at the next one.